Our feature artist this week is really what I'd like to call part of the OG type of DI rock that really kills it, man. And in kind of roundabout way, a reason for Real Rock Nights to exist. It is Damian from the band Aranda. And Damian, how have you been, man? It's been like 13 years or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Been doing well. We're still doing music and still rocking as a band. And of course, since 13 years ago, obviously it's been quite a journey and there's all sorts of stories, but the condensed version is, we've got a new album out and we're excited.
The new album is the latest tune. Oh God, I freaking love it. And we will get there, man. Definitely. And God, so much to catch up on and talk about. First of all, you're listed as an Oklahoma City band. Are you originally from Oklahoma City?
Yeah, both my brother and I were born here, and we've lived here a lot of our lives, but we've been all over the place. But this is where we call home base. So, it's Oklahoma City is an amazing city in the sense that it's not like the biggest city in the world, but you can have a little bit of big city living and half the cost of most big cities. The cost of living here is amazing.
The cost of living is really good. And then also, like you were saying, yeah, you have people who actually care about each other. That's the big thing. It's like, because in a big city, you don't have that. You have a bunch of people that are out for themselves for the most part.
It's just we always come back. We were born here and we wouldn't keep coming back home if we didn't like it and love it and love the people. And just like you said, the people here are really just good people.
Everybody treats you right and stuff. Now, let's go back to I don't know. Let's say like 10 years old. What kind of kid were you? Speak for Gabe on this too.
Yeah, man. We went through a lot as kids. My parents got divorced when I was 6 and my brother was 5. So as we were growing up during that period of time, we were kind of bouncing around a little bit from my mom's, my dad's, my grandma. So we moved quite a bit. But between those ages of 6 and I would say 6 and 12, 6 and 13. So we were all over the place. We lived in like Florida. We lived in Washington, D.C. We lived in South Carolina, back here in Oklahoma. We were in quite a few different places. But as far as our temperament, I don't know. I think we were always, at least I like to think, some of our personality traits haven't changed too much, which is kind of funny now, because we love to laugh, we love to cut up, we always have, and being so close, my brother and I kind of at that time period were the real stability in each other's lives. So we were best friends at that time. We'd fight like normal brothers do, but we'd just cut up and laugh. And music at that point had already started emerging in our lives. We were already singing, singing a ton of harmony and doing all those things. And we loved all the classic bands, because from my dad, the Beatles and the Doobie Brothers and all those, the Eagles, all those real, bands that were doing a lot of harmonies. So
yeah,
we were like, that's just what music's supposed to be, right? Like you got to have harmony and you got to have all these melodies. And so that's kind of where we got our start about that time.
Okay. So it was basically your father who started your interest in music, basically by
I would say
what you listened to?
Definitely what we listened to. Now, my mother, she definitely listened to. My mom was her two big people were Elvis Presley and John Lennon. Those were her two.
Okay.
And then she did like a lot of country, which we didn't quite latch onto at that time. So my dad's stuff was just rock and roll and he was he played acoustic guitar and sang. My mom also sang. And so there was a lot of early on, our memories are my dad's always playing guitar and, parents singing around the house. And so there was just a lot of music just around.
Okay, were they actually professional in this, or
No, I mean,
that was just what they like to do?
they just like to do it. And my dad, he got good enough on guitar to where he could play quite a few songs. He'd whip out the songbooks and we'd sit there and sing along with him. And he kind of, I guess, taught us a little bit about basic harmony and how to kind of gel within a group. Because a lot of times we try to do like these 3-part harmonies between my brother and I and my dad. And we would just try to do stuff like that. And so it wasn't until I was about 12, though, that I grabbed a guitar and started wanting to play guitar. And my dad looked at me. He goes, "Man, Damian," he goes, this is probably going to be just like the rest of the stuff that you always do. You do it for about a month and then you stop. And I don't know. He'd probably said that before, but this time it was like one of those things where it's like, okay, oh, it's a challenge now. And so
there you go.
And so by about 3 months in, I was already kicking my dad's butt playing guitar. And he would just kind of sit down and he wouldn't even play. And it would just be the three of us singing, but we had switched roles and I had started playing guitar.
And you not only proving him wrong, but surpassing the master, so to speak.
It's still kind of my crowning achievement in my whole life now.
So at what age was it when you guys were like, "Hey, we got to start a band"?
Man, it was real early. It was middle school because we had already entered the talent shows there. Yeah, we took an approach that, okay, if I know 4, 5, 6 chords, then let's just start writing our own songs and start doing that stuff. So the songwriting thing in general came really early also. We just, their songs were horrible, but, but it did kind of give us a start of like, hey, this is what we want to do. And then, back in those days, the guitar magazine was king. So you'd get the guitar magazine and they'd have like 5 or 6 of the songs in tablature. And so our set list consisted probably of all the early 90s, whatever the late 80s, early 90s, like rock at the time. And we would literally, our set list would be like the November issue of Guitar World, that it would be like, okay, we're learning those 5 songs. And so it was cool because I feel like we progressed really fast as far as musicians, because we were just doing it so much. A lot of other people would want to go out and play and do all this stuff. We would be like practicing and sitting in our room and trying to figure things out. And it was always, we did band practice 3 to 5 times a week kind of thing. And this was at 13, 14 years old.
Okay, so taking it very seriously.
We were taking it real seriously. We wanted to do something with it,
And all right, that's the early point. And when did it actually turn into what we know as Aranda?
Man, it's funny. I can't really pinpoint it exactly. It kind of morphed into things. Now, when we were growing up during this period as teenagers in the 90s, we had a few different names before we ended up with Aranda. Like I think one of the names was like Bad Taste, Image. We were big Rush fans at the time, so for about a year our band was named Free Will. It was just all these bands up until we had to kind of figure out what we were going to name our band permanently at some point. Nothing was really sticking, let's just say that.
Okay.
And so we just took the nod of the cap from Van Halen and Bon Jovi and all those guys. And we were like, well, if they can do their last name, I guess we can too. So
that's how that came to be.
So it did. That's how it came to be.
Okay.
Yeah, but we were horrible at coming up with other band names. So it was like, well, at least we can defend this one. It's our family name,
That works out. I thought it was kind of cool that you were brothers that named your band like after your family. I was like, hey, how was, and then with you talking about the musical aspect, always being around the house and your parents singing, playing music and that stuff. Now it kind of all comes together. And the fact that you're actually doing what you love to do. And what do your parents think about that?
Well, my mom, she loves it so much. She's so proud, and she's all over our socials all the time. And oh, I love you guys. I love you, sweetie. You guys are. She still thinks we're 10, but my dad passed away in February of 2019, and so before then, though, I mean, I think through a lot of the things that he was going through, because he was dealing with a lot of stuff towards the end of his life, and that was a bright spot. I think Gabe and I and the band, and he'd talk about the records with us and talk about the lyrics and his favorite things, and you'd always catch him when we even walk in the house, sometimes listening to our stuff, and he was just he was really into it a lot.
That's awesome, man. That really is. Now, you guys have had a lot of moments throughout your career where your momentum has kind of been interrupted. And I don't know, just with us talking here, the way I look at life is like a refrigerator full of shit sandwiches. And there's other food in there too, but you have to eat those shit sandwiches once in a while to get to the good stuff. And some of those moments, man, did you feel the universe was against you?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I don't know. I mean, we've eaten our fair share of shit sandwiches, and there were times where we really felt like we were on the brink of just maybe getting to I guess what you would call a higher tier of success, and then something would happen, or like you said, it would derail it. But I mean, I don't know. Life is life, and there are 8-9 billion people in the world, and I look at our life and even our, I'd like to call it success, because I think the things that we've done have been amazing. And I remember dreaming of some of the things that we've done. And so I look at it in the sense of, yeah, we've had shit sandwiches. And like you said, everybody's had shit sandwiches. But at the end of the day, I'm very thankful that we've been blessed with the life that we've been able to have. And even the smaller success in comparison to some other bands, we're still completely thankful that anybody would listen to our music. Really, I mean, truly, we really do feel that.
So what do you feel like when you're on stage and you're actually getting across the point that you actually want to make with your music? What do you, because I've been to so many of your shows and I've seen the way the people respond. What does that feel like for you?
Man, it feels great. I mean, one of the things that we've always prided ourselves on is, I mean, we give 1,000,000% out there. We just don't take days off. I mean, I even remember sometimes we'd be sick out on the road, or one of us would be sick, and man, it would just be like when showtime happens, you got to forget that. You just got to go, and you got to do those things. And so I think maybe some of that, what we're putting out there, is coming back to us the other way, because the audience gives it right back to us. And so it's kind of this nice little give and go kind of thing.
The whole thing about the way you put songs together, I want to know how you and Gabe work. Do the lyrics begin the songwriting process, or do you come up with a hook or a melody line, or how do you guys work that out?
A lot of the times I'll try to like write without an instrument, because sometimes the instrument boxes me in a little bit from what I might want to do melodically. Okay. So I'll try to come up with like just strange melodies that's, I'll make them real strange at first, and then try to hone them into like more kind of stuff that people would actually listen to, you know? So it's like go real weird and go real crazy and then come back, but don't come back all the way to where it's generic. Come back to a place where it's like, oh, this is kind of creative, yet maybe a little commercial too at the same time. So my brain kind of works like that. And then with guitar stuff, I really like to get in there and just fool around with different riffs. And a lot of the times our Stop the World record, which is now over 10 years old now, but that record was all, hey, we're going to write the songs basic on acoustic guitar, and then we're going to literally put our voices on it and then completely strip the music and write riffs to what we're singing. So we did it that way too. So it's just, man, inspiration kind of hits you all the time. I write all the time. I would consider myself a songwriter. So I probably write up to, I don't know, 150 to 175 songs a year kind of thing.
I can't, that blows my mind, man. I can't imagine having like talent. And how much of that stuff is in your head constantly?
Sometimes it's a curse because you go to bed with that stuff. And if you don't completely flush out certain things during the day, I mean, I can't sleep sometimes because it's like, I got to put this down. And so I'll step outside the house and hum it all out and get it kind of organized a little bit. So I know that in the morning I can come back to it and mess with it, but it'll jack me up sometimes. And I think that's just one of the things about being creative. It's kind of it is you. It's kind of a part of you. You know what I mean?
I do.
And the thing about songwriting in general too is sometimes I don't like to take credit for writing songs because I really do feel like all these songs are kind of out there in the universe and you just have to be the one to pull them out of the air and put the puzzle together. Because that's really what songwriting is. You got to put the puzzle together.
Okay. You just brought up something that, that's a thought that I had about, okay, you know, in radio, how we make our sweepers and our imaging and stuff like that, or I will be writing a promo and it will be the weirdest thing in the world. Normally I have the TV on for background noise when I'm doing stuff. And I'll be writing a promo and all of a sudden they'll say a phrase that works perfectly with the promo. Yeah. And I end up going, oh God. So that's what you're talking about. You get that in songwriting also.
All the time. Yeah. And so you're just almost like one of the lucky ones that just kind of figured that little thing out and you just kind of grab it and you go, hey, because of the way songwriting, somebody has to get credit for it. At some point you'll take it, but a lot of times you're just like, man, I lucked out on that.
I'll wait to see an Aranda song and co-written by the barista at Starbucks down the street.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now getting to, I was actually before we got on here, I was actually looking for my Still in the Dark era t-shirt. And I know it's back there in like boxes of radio crap, but I can't find it. So, but you guys, do you have something about dark? Because your new song, Light and Dark. Yeah. That where's that come from? What do you think?
I don't know. I think especially early on. I mean, we had a lot of stuff going on. I felt like half of our first couple records was literally just therapy from trauma, and so I just feel like, the light and dark concept, I was talking a little bit about my father and he struggled a lot with mental illness. And so that song kind of directly came from inspiration from him because we would always see him just really struggling with all of these dark places. And he didn't want to be here anymore at the end, like he would voice that, but I think there was still a hope in him all the time, which was the light, that maybe something could change. And that's why he would wake up the next day. Maybe something can change. There's got to be hope that is rising up again. You know what I mean? And that's part of the song, you know what I mean? And so you have the verses that are real, like, wake me up from the misery. There's a devil in my sleep, all this stuff just happening. But you know, a lot. I think we can all relate to those things because there is a lot of darkness in the world, but we have to, as human beings, just deal with all the stuff that life throws at us. And I like to think that there is a light at the end of all that. You know what I mean? Whether it's on this side or on the other side, but that's kind of what the song is about.
So essentially in the video, and everyone watching or listening, especially if you go to our YouTube channel, you're going to be able to see the video at the end of this interview. And in the video, which is also going to be up at realrocknights.com. So people that are listening right now on affiliate stations, you can head to the website and watch the video. The woman in the video, is that does she represent like something like searching for the light and dark, or searching for a way out?
Yeah, she's searching for the light. She's definitely searching for the light, but she's in the dark most of the time. And you can feel that push and pull with the struggle and how she's struggling. And, you know, if you let yourself really get into that video, it is emotional. You know what I mean? And so, and she did a great job. She's a friend of ours here in Oklahoma City. She's an actress here, and she's worked on a couple projects with us. She's a great singer also.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's amazing. But her name's Hartley Buick, and she's really cool, and she's a great actress. And I remember when she came and did that, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, we were the ones that had recommended her, but we didn't know she was that good. So
I was gonna say, when you brought up she was an actor, or first of all, when you said that it was a friend of yours, I was gonna say, wow, she should be an actress. But then you brought up that she was an actress, because you can actually see like the pain and stuff in her face, and she can actually convey what's going on in the song at the same time. It's really cool.
Yeah, she did a great job.
But she really, really did. What are you hearing from fans about this new album?
I mean, I think most of the people that have gone out and listened to it, there's some people that think it's our best work yet. There's other people that think that they can relate to a few of the songs. I think it's the overall subject matter is broader on this record than maybe some of the other stuff that we've done. So I think there is something for everybody in whatever phase of life you might be dealing with. So, and that's, it's Recollections of a Painted Year. That's the whole thing. And so basically, we went through a huge spell from about 2018 to 2020, which 2020 being the pandemic, but 2018, we had so much loss of life. Our producer, Kato Kandwala, passed away in a motorcycle accident. Then right after that, our sound guy that had been with us for 11, 12 years, he passed away suddenly.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. And then my dad passed away in 2019. Okay. And then our drummer was killed in 2019 also. So those songs were written during around that period of time. So you can feel there's a lot going on there, but I do feel like a lot of people can relate to it, because by the time 2020 ended up hitting and we had all this pandemic stuff, man, people were just letting it out. They were just saying how they really felt about everything, and the world was going crazy, and you can sense that in the album a little bit.
And wow, I'm trying to get past your sound guy, because he was with you for years.
Oh man, yeah, he was, great guy. I mean, he was part of the family. My mom adored him. Every time we'd come through South Carolina, he was like her favorite. I was like, hey, we're still your sons over here, and he was, he just had a way about him. He was amazing.
And then the whole thing with your drummer too, and we actually talked about that here on the show, because I was like, I was afraid that that was gonna kill like Aranda. I was like, oh man, is this?
Yeah, we had just started.
Gonna be able to soldier on, or?
Well, we had just started the record, and Mike had just put his first drum track down, and then I think it was a week and a half, 2 weeks later, we got the news. And yeah, I mean, even when I go back to it now, it's hard to even think about, we have shows coming up now and this week, and I always still think, man, can't wait to pick up Mike, head
the
out,
three of you, yeah.
Because that we had just, when you're with somebody a decade and a half, man, it's just like, that's family. There's so much closeness. There's things that, I mean, and I know a lot of bands would say this, but on the road specifically, there are things that go on the road, even just with talks and being around each other, that just but that only you guys understand that, it really is a brotherhood.
It's a thing where, yeah, you share everything, all your memories are combined for the most part. And were there any signs of anything?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, Damian, that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's still, for us, is real sensitive, and we always try to be real sensitive to their family, because they're okay, very close to us too, and a lot of those things we just don't comment on.
Okay, all right, well, just move on, man. What are we looking at in tours and live shows coming up?
Well, we have a few coming up. We're actually, this next week we'll be out in Wisconsin and Chicago.
Oh, Taste is coming up. Yeah. Taste of Madison.
Taste of Madison. Right. Yeah, it's such a great place. And JJO is such a great station to us, and they've always been big supporters. And every time I look at their playlist, I'm just like, I can't believe they're playing all these songs from us. They're awesome. They really are. They've been amazing. And then, later on in the month, we'll be in Little Rock, Arkansas, which is a great place for us. And then we're working on a really big show in Oklahoma City for the 15th anniversary of the first record. And so that'll be in, I think, like December 1st is when we're not going to announce that really until September, but
okay.
Hey, oh, well, we're going to be playing.
Well, I can just scrub that part.
You don't have to. Let people know.
All right. That'll be freaking awesome, man. And actually, I'm going to put that on my schedule right now.
Awesome.
Because I gotta get up to see you guys again, man. It's been way too long.
We gotta connect, man. We gotta connect.
Website arandamusic.com.
That's
and
us.
You guys you do a lot of things for your fans. What do you have in the back of your mind for fans, especially online socials and stuff? It's like you're active.
Yeah, we've been really active the last couple of years. We just want to connect, and so in any way that we can do that, that's why we're getting back out again and really touring again, because we want to connect with people. I mean, social media is one thing and going back and forth with people like that, but there's nothing like real and being there. So we try to do a lot of the VIP things too, where we can, have more time with our fans and connect with some people that want to, not just a meet and greet, but like, hey, we're going to hang out with you guys for a little while and chill and just connect. So, well, and you guys are those type of people where you just want to hang out and get to know the people who love you and why they want to hear Aranda, why they want to be around Aranda. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been amazing over the years just how unbelievable our fans have been. And honestly, man, through a lot of some of these hard times that we talk about, that's what kind of kept us going in the first place. So we always, at all of our shows, on our socials all the time, we just always want to just basically always be in a posture of gratitude to people, because we're just thankful we could not be doing what we're doing. And you hear this all the time, and I don't mean for it to sound cliche, but we cannot do what we do without the fans. We just can't do it. So very thankful. Totally get it. And that's why I respect you guys so much, and respect the bands all across there's the big money bands, then there's the bands that are really fucking killing it, and they're almost DIY bands, Yeah. And that's how you guys pretty much started out, and you've kept that up, haven't you? Yeah. Yeah. And that's been one of those things that again keeps us going too. You know what I mean? It's like,
Just having to wear so many hats and do so many different things, man.
well, but it keeps you engaged. You know what I mean?
Keeps you engaged.
It keeps you really engaged. Now, again, I mean, would we love just to be worried about just the music and just playing and just doing that? Man, of course, but at the end of the day, at this point now, this is the way the music business is now. You know what I mean? You have to be a graphic designer. You have to be a social media expert. You have to be all these things. And so, I'm a learner. I love to learn things. So I've learned over the last few years how to kind of start doing some of those things. And, I'm not saying I'm the best at it, because actually in some ways I suck, especially when I see other people's stuff. I'm like, who's doing all their stuff? That's amazing. So
I'm the same way, and it's my freaking job, man.
Oh, man. But I think as long as you're just moving the ball forward every day, man, that's all you can ask from yourself.
That's all. Okay. What's the best social for people to keep up with you?
Facebook and Instagram are both the best. We've been trying the TikTok thing, and we'll post a couple times a week on that, but we're pretty daily on Instagram and Facebook.
And the whole TikTok thing, have you jumped on that bandwagon of trying to get a piece of your song? You know how I guess from what I'm told, I don't know, I've never looked at TikTok, I've never been on it, but from what I'm told is people can share little snippets of songs in their videos, and then the people that share that, and it shares it with all their friends, and shares it, and it just grows and grows and grows. And the TikTok effect, do you ever see, I know Hinder is coming out with a version 2 of Lips of an Angel, because somebody used somebody used a little piece of Lips of an Angel like on a TikTok, and it just blew up. So they decided to go do this, and the same thing has happened with other people. Would you want that to happen? I guess is the question.
Man, at this point, we're pretty open-handed with most stuff now at this point. So if it would help in any way, then great. You know what I mean? Like, the more people that get exposed to our music in whatever way, it's not like I know this is going to be a funny story. It's not like we're really ever getting paid crazy money anyway right now for that stuff. So, man, however people get exposed to it, for us personally and in our state, that's fine with us.
Okay. All right. Damian, it was so freaking awesome to talk to you. And thank you so much for coming on Real Rock Nights.
It was an honor, man. It's so great to see you after all these years, and glad to see that you're doing well too.
Yeah. I'm a little bit older.
Hey, we all are.
I'm like, oh, dude, this is like, I saw Elias here like about 6 months ago. I hadn't seen him in, I don't know, like 15, 16 years or something like that. It's like, dude, we got old.
Yeah. It's all good though. It's good to see Non-Point still doing their thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And he sounds good.
Yeah. Like, they're better than ever in my opinion.
Like, dude, I got old and crusty, and I'm like, what? It's like he got better. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Well, what do you say we give people a taste of the light and dark?
Let's do it.
Click for the latest video right here, right now. And don't forget to like and subscribe.